Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hey Newberry Fishing. It's been too long since I've been making episodes. Well, as a lot of you know, I'm kind of in the process of moving out of the camper. Still going to be doing travel nursing and everything, but bought a house, sold the camper. Going to continue doing some traveling out of my truck camper setup. Doing a little bit more traveling back and forth to home base area here, and currently just been getting stuff set up, doing all kinds of home renovations and everything. Something that I'm gonna actually have in some of my probably next couple videos. I'll scatter it out. It's gonna be kind of a long process, and I'm gonna try to kind of track it along as I do it. But I've got about, I don't know, it's like a 3 acre pond or so, 3.5 acres here on my property, and it's in need of some pond renovation, I guess. The bass quality in it is pretty poor. There's definitely some big ones. I caught one out of it after I'd fished it a few times that was probably 5.5 pounds or so. Really healthy fish. Caught a couple other, good 3.5, 4 pounders out of it, but has a ton, an absolute just load of like half pound to 3/4 of a pound fish. Not good quality in them all. Tons of them that are too small. So if you aren't guys aren't familiar with that, I'm going to kind of go through the whole process of trying to turn a pond around that is in that condition. I'm also going to do some different things that I think are going to be pretty interesting with the fish and everything in it. Throughout the whole process, I have kind of an end result. I'm not going to get into all of it too much, but got big plans for my pond. I think it's going to be really fun, and going to make some videos and stuff of it. But we're going to make some videos too of me starting out the process of trying to turn around. I've done it to actually back when I was in like high school, that era, to when I was in my like early 20s. We did kind of this process to one of my buddy's ponds. Ended up being an amazing pond to fish. Anyway, on to kind of what the conversation's about. I was really wanting to talk about a, a hard, long, late cold front in the spring. What we ran into in a lot of parts of the country, something that can be really, 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 really tough on fishing and hard to interpret, hard to know even what to do in a tournament situation because it will change the weights dramatically, to say the least. And it's done it in a lot of places that I've seen. And I thought something interesting to talk about along those lines that really we got to see it play out a little bit at the Classic, because those fish get just thrown. And I guess to even refer back to a couple videos that I've made so far this year are basing what fish do, spawning behavior and everything off water temperature. And I think it kind of speaks to that a lot more too, if you disagree with me or not, on the water temperature situation when it comes to fish moving up to spawn. But when that water temperature drops and those fish are really heavily heading that way, or they've already started doing what they're doing, it can mess with things. So I'm going to backtrack actually to a couple weeks ago on Lake Murray. You guys probably saw the sight fishing video that I made there. Some of you did. You might not have. You can go back and watch it if you want to. But day one, actually, day before that, I was sight fishing on Santee Cooper lakes. I think I was on Lake Marion in the video that I posted there. Then went up to Lake Murray, went sight fishing there, and the second day I was up there, cold front started pushing in, like a big one. By the third day that I was sight fishing there, I could barely find any on in the bed. And day one, when I got up there, I thought it was gonna be just a slugfest. I mean, I was seeing big ones here, there on the bed. I see them paired up, kind of moving around, and found a couple locked down. Found a few that were, and I just thought it was gonna be lights out, but they, from what I could tell, they started dropping water. Sorry, something caught my eye. Got a deer in my backyard, and I was checking to look at it. Actually, yeah, I was turkey hunting this morning too. I explained why I'm in camo to you guys, but anyway, by the end of those 3 days, I was actually fishing an early pre-spawn pattern. So that's what I'm going to get to with how to approach it and how I approach it, and it's actually, from what I've seen, the I guess I wouldn't say the best approach, but a very reliable approach to continue to catch big fish through a hard cold front like that. So to I guess people that aren't from this area in Southern Illinois, here in Southern Illinois, there's a lake called Kincaid Lake. I've got some videos posted on there too. Got back here after that cold front, and the weights in the tournaments here were also affected. Weights were horrible. I was wanting to go bass fishing here, and I actually went crappie fishing because the weights were so bad. I had no intention of trying to chase those fish down. But on Lake Murray, I actually backed off and went straight from sight fishing to fishing early pre-spawn stuff, like fishing swim baits way out on main lake points. Just, I mean, stuff that you could catch them on, in the wintertime and everything. That, and I actually caught some good ones throwing a chatterbait over the grass that you have out on the long main lake points on Lake Murray the next day after I was bed fishing. And I mean, good, healthy pre-spawners. But that's kind of my approach to this, which I'm going to get into what I did when I came back to Southern Illinois while I was crappie fishing. But a very reliable approach is to scrap all of the ones that were moving up and get the ones that really were just back there still doing their thing, haven't really even started trying to go up there. I think that is probably one of the most reliable approaches that you can take to a hard cold front like that, or a big change in conditions. I think Murray actually, like I said, was dropping a little bit too. But when those fish up there get impacted and you have the decision to either try to chase those down, which generally will not work, or back way off and go for those early pre-spawners, or the ones that are still like, it's like wintertime still, right? They're just like hanging out on the point, didn't even know there was fish up there on beds or anything, just enjoying their day. Those are the fish that generally you need to be targeting when stuff like that happens, because a lot of times the fish that are up there won't actually pull back off. They'll just kind of do a no man's land thing in some really weird areas. They get really difficult to catch, extremely difficult to catch. But that's what I was going to hit on also with the Classic. I know I'm jumping to 5 different tournaments here with you guys, but the Classic, will start back there. I mentioned it just a second ago. You look at what Gussie did. Those fish, I mean, I'm talking all across the country, these fish were affected by that hard lake cold front. But nobody thought that somebody was going to go out and do what he did all 3 days. He even wasn't able to do it all 3 days, really. But those fish never just just, there was no big wave that just came to the bank like everybody thought was going to happen. Now, his fish did leave him, so I feel like the water maybe was really starting to restabilize towards the ends of their tournament. But you talked to a lot of guys. I think Jacob Rosnick actually on stage said that he caught his last couple fish off the bed. So I think exactly what happened there is kind of, I mean, it's crazy how things like this affect from just huge areas of the country. But you look at, those fish were probably really close to spawning before that massive cold front came through, and they just kind of held there, and nobody was able to catch them. Everybody was struggling so bad to catch the big largemouth on the Tennessee River, or any of those really the shallower pre-spawners. And then right as kind of the tournament was ending, everything was starting to restabilize. Gussie's fish vanish, and those fish start coming back up. I think Frosnick said that he thought if the tournament had fell one day later, that it was really going to go off up shallow. So I thought that was kind of an interesting look at how things roll after a cold front like that, and then hitting back all the way here in Southern Illinois. So I get back here. I decide that I'm going to go crappie fishing on Kincaid instead of bass fishing, because there was a tournament, actually 2 tournaments, the 2 days before I was able to go. One of them, I think a 5 fish limit. One guy caught 18, or one team caught 18 pounds, which isn't really a great team weight. And then second place, and these are 5. This is a 5 fish limit. Second place was like 9 pounds. Third place was like 6 pounds or something like that. I mean, that's terrible for there. Absolutely god awful. And then the next day was, I think they did a 3 fish limit, and first place was like 8.5 pounds or something like that, and it just dropped off after there. Tons of zeros. So I went there with the intention of crappie fishing, but ended up catching a 6-pounder on a crappie jig, crappie fishing a brush pile on a point. And again, back to what I was talking about, there probably wasn't many fish that caliber weighed in those tournaments. And the fish that, and I'm sure probably, I have no idea what the guy was doing, but I'm going to take a wild guess. Those were the fish that 18-pound bag that those guys were targeting, are those really, really early pre-spawners, when even after the fish have moved up, which in Southern Illinois, even with that really warm weather we were having, from what I talked to a few people, I wasn't back here. It's kind of the same deal. Everything was in motion. Things were getting a little shallower. Fish were biting up there, and then boom, cold front hits. Bite gets terrible, and the only fish that really are almost not affected by it are these deep fish that most people are kind of overlooking, because they're waiting on that wave to come to the bank, and they think, oh, after that cold front, it really takes sometimes a while for the water to restabilize. And I think we saw that through a lot of time, and if you look at tournament weights across the country, I really think that it showed that. So I guess the purpose of this video really is, I just wanted to go through all that, kind of shine a light on it for you guys, and give my opinion on what I think you should probably be doing when those things happen. Also wanted to hit on the last video I posted. There was some people that definitely more comments than normal of people that didn't seem to understand the perspective I was given on the cheating that happened. Now it sounds like pretty well confirmed happened in the Open. Was that which some of you guys might not watch this. Probably if you didn't like the video, you aren't watching this anyway. But I wasn't going to go on the hearsay, I guess, that's out there with the video of it's not confirmed information. If I read a Facebook post or a comment on a Facebook post of some dude saying, "Oh, I heard he was doing this," I'm not going to post a video just saying that like it's fact. So the reason why there was very limited information, from what I've seen, apparently there's a lot of people that are okay with just blasting a guy with literally just secondhand information on a subject. I was giving the first hand, pointing at the statement from him and the statement from Bass. That was what I was focusing on, not a bunch of like unverified, way down the line people with information on that. Anyway, if you want to watch the video, I thought it was pretty interesting. There's been more information come out on that subject too since then, so you can kind of compare what seemed to be true and not. But anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully I'll have some more for you here soon. Anytime now, I think I'll be posting daily again, at least, or a couple days in between each video. I've been doing so much work on the house right now, it's been kind of hard to post a bunch. But thanks for staying tuned and watching all the videos. I really appreciate it. See you guys on the next one.